I'm Matt Ryan, and this edition of the 3-on-1 podcast is brought to you by Skillshare. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. And you know how I learned about love and a million other things? I use Skillshare. If you click the link in our description right now, you get a free trial of Skillshare and you help out the podcast. Keep Cory's 97 children clothed and fed by signing up to Skillshare right now in the link in our description. If you're watching us on the video version or if you're listening on the audio version, there's always a description. It's the thing with all the text at the bottom. So don't be a jabroni. Don't be an all-sam. Sign up with Skillshare today. We are counting down to the start of the 9th season of the A7FL, so I did my hair and decided, why not do a podcast? It's time for the 3-on-1 here, presented by Skillshare, and joining me, as always, you know them, you love them, first and foremost, multiple-time A7FL champion, Big Rob Fabian, a.k.a. Bachata Bob, and he's my quarterback. He's Cory Hammond. You already know who it is, but we've got two guests on the program tonight. First and foremost, he's one of the leaders of the Trenton BIC, the defending A7FL champions. He is also one of the cornerstones of the A7FL. He is big Kenny Stansbury. Kenny, thank you to have you on the show, throwing up the fist. Glad to have you on the program. And someone from an area that has, let's just say, the tea is hotter than London in the summer. It is Bone joining us here on the podcast. And Bone, thank you for taking time out to join us here on the show.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Well, let's get down to business, guys. It's been an interesting week here in the A7FL, mainly because of what happened the other day. The day before we dropped this, in Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin are watching the A7FL. Well, Mike Tomlin is. Ben Roethlisberger probably looked it up after the podcast. If you want to know what we're talking about, head on over to Instagram, search the A7FL. You'll see it right there. Guys, as players, management, announcers in this league, people who have been a part of it, you guys have been cornerstones of both Baltimore and New Jersey since the inception of the A7. What does it feel like to know that a Super Bowl winning coach is watching the A7FL and is a fan of our style of football?
Paying off, man. A lot of hard Mondays, a lot of, sweat, tears, a lot of blood, actually, according to Cory Hammond jersey. A lot of days of uncertainty if we was gonna play the next week or what field we was gonna play on. It's a privilege.
And coming from a coach that has taken over the reins after Bill Cowher so spectacularly, that when the abysmal rosters that he goes in with season in and season out always end up with winning seasons, it's obviously Mike Tomlin and his football acumen, his commitment to doing things the right way. And I think what's ingrained in the Steelers franchise, and obviously a Mike Tomlin coach team, is toughness. So hearing him admire the toughness of the guys in our league from someone that's been so elite for so long, at probably one of the hardest things to do in the United States. Andy Reid's been fired from jobs, right? Andy Reid has been fired from jobs. So Mike Tomlin's been the Steelers head coach since he's gotten the job. That's been it. And hopefully him and Ben Roethlisberger do more than just watch for 5 minutes.
And I agree with that. I'm hoping they actually do something. And it's not just a shout out. I'm hoping they actually buy a team. I'm hoping they actually invest. I'm hoping they show up to a game. I would love to see them at a championship game, just to support, since they love it. So since Mike loves it so much, Mike He's my friend now.
Oh, we're on
Mike?
first. We're on first word
First
name
name
basis
basis.
now.
First name basis.
Yeah,
It's my guy Mike. You know what I'm saying?
Even if I have a feeling, even if you knew him pretty well, he's the type of guy that you would say Coach Tomlin or Mr. Tomlin. But Mr. Tomlin, if you could get the Immortals back in action and get another infusion, the Pennsylvania team, that could be a scary team and a scary situation for the rest of the teams in the Northeast. I was just a little hurt that he said that it started in the Allentown area. And
he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
He kind of acted like the Jersey guys and the Baltimore guys, which I think did a little bit more than those PA guys were afterthoughts. But
he didn't necessarily say that.
I'll forgive.
He did
like
say
I
he
said,
think it started out there though.
Yeah,
he said he thinks there's a team out there.
Yeah. So, I listen. If he's watching, great. Hopefully, he's not listening to my dumbass make a fool of myself constantly. But thank God, most of our highlights are Matt giving good play-by-play and Rob just stepping it over with a well-timed syllable. Damn.
Let's focus on our guests here. Bone, great to have you on the show. One thing that's been kind of festering in the background as we head into the season has been the status of a lot of the great players from Baltimore. We saw a mass migration to the Patterson U over the last couple of weeks, but it seems heading into the season, the newly formed Baltimore Watchmen are going to be a force to be reckoned with. What's your take on what we're seeing coming out of Maryland? And do you think that one of these two teams, the Watchmen or the DC Buzz, will be walking into Nevada this July facing a team from the West Coast? And Kenny, allow him to respond before you give a retort.
Well, I can't speak on the Buzz. I don't know nothing about what they got going on. But as far as the Watchmen, the team that we put together down here, a lot of talent. I think we're going to be a headache to the league. Most of the guys on here know the mission. We know what we got to do. We know what we got to put in place. We just got to do it, man. It's been too long for me personally. Like, I feel like I did everything else in this league except win the A7 championship. And this year, I feel like we just going to get it done. Just the amount of talent that we have around this team that we putting together. We just got to go out there and play the game now.
Is it a shame to lose the two franchises that, I still consider the rare breed more of the Cobras, right? And then obviously the Gators. Is it a shame to lose those two teams, or is it actually something that ended up being a net positive, kind of combining the teams and getting maybe the best of the best out of the Baltimore division to kind of throw in there and, see what you guys as a combined unit can do?
I wouldn't say a shame. I mean, things change. Once it changed, we got depth. I mean, at some point, it wasn't even no teams in Maryland. Everyone was going elsewhere, and including myself. Like, I was going to join the U, but I explained to the U what if it wasn't going to be nothing to Baltimore, then I was going to be on the team. And once Baltimore had a team, I just joined them. And as far as the Cobras, I was a Cobra since it first started. Yeah. So I felt like
I remember
leaving the Cobras. It's just like once the Cobras was done, like I could play anywhere. That's what I felt like. So I won't say it was a shame, but things happened and things changed, and then I just adapted to it, man.
We see your blocking skills there on camera. I think just to give some of the audience that doesn't necessarily know Bone a little bit of context. This is a guy comes into the league. What was the first year in the league? 2014.
Yeah, 2014. We was down Patterson Park.
And then now I'll ask you this question, and you answer it how you want. What positions have you played in this league? Just to give the audience a little bit of context.
Listen, if you're not watching, Bone is smiling right now because listen, there's a lot of positions that young man has played that will shock you, but I'll let him list them off.
I think every position except corner. I think that's just corner.
So
corner.
How?
what, Matt? Wait. So
How?
to be clear, you have had highlights that we've seen on A7FL either
1000%.
what at these positions, and I quote, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, in which we won't go into your weight, Bone, but we'll say it's a little bit more than you would consider catching a fade jump ball head top on somebody. Offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, and like you said, not corner. Let me ask you this. Do you think that you could cover 50% of the wide receivers in this league one-on-one?
50%?
I'm not saying would you start in this league at corner, but let's say worst case scenario, you show up with not enough guys. They're like, Bone, we got a big roster. We need a corner. You got us? What's your answer?
Whatever you need, I'm out there.
So you could probably still do it. So that all being said, when you look at your Watchmen team, what position do you find yourself in, settling in as basically, as we see your blocking skills, we know that we just saw a swim move on that same child. A lot tamer than we can expect on Sundays. But what position are you kind of lining up to gear in towards? And is that something that you're happy with, or you kind of just, take with a grain of salt?
I think it's just more of what they need me at. Because my favorite position to play is wide receiver.
Yeah.
I just felt like my size at wide receiver, I could always get open. That's just me.
Yeah, that slant window on a guy who's got that extra 1.5 feet of the waist, you got a nice little window for a quarterback to slide that in there. And you played a lot with Ace Boogie back in those days, as we say, right?
I actually played hostile ball with Ace.
Oh, I never knew that. No shit.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring him up is we've heard a lot about who's going to be playing quarterback for teams, in the A7 involving the Maryland guys, specifically the U, and we'll talk about that later, but also the Watchmen and the DC Buzz. Now, there was this rumor going around that Lenny might end up with the Buzz. I think they're settled in with Mark Diggs. Is John Gauze going to be the starter for the Baltimore Watchmen?
As of right now, yes, John Gauze is our starter. He's been our starter since we made the team. Reason being of, I think, in Buck transition to the U, and somehow he's back now. But John Gauze is our guy right now.
Now, none of us, I think, on this panel, included Ken Stansbury, and Kenny, we love you. I appreciate that you're letting us talk about some bone stuff, and then we'll get to you. Is that a pause? Should I pause myself anyway?
You're fine. You're fine.
We all agree that Ace Boogie John Gauze is likely, if not one of the best, obviously, in the league right now, maybe one of the top 5 in the league's history. But we all know the but that follows that is his health. Now, having Buck and having Lenny on the roster, obviously, maybe, negate that as a big factor going into the season. But how does John himself, I almost said John, how does John himself feel about that situation going into the season? And how do you guys as a team feel about that? Is having the depth at quarterback going to be something that you do to try to extend the available play count that he has, or are you guys fully confident that he's fully healthy and ready to, finish this A7 season coming up?
Well, the way Ace looking in practice, he looking like he's coming back to his full self. Well, as far as them handling what they got to do at that quarterback position, they talk, I think, mostly every day, and they know what they have to do, whatever they got to do each game, because every Sunday something can happen. And with Ace, he get touched, he might get hurt, and a good thing we have someone coming in like a Buck or a Lenny. But I feel like, to me, this A7, as far as A7 and winning the championship, no team is not going to win if they don't have a decent quarterback. So we just going to go as far as them 3 quarterback takers. That's what I feel like.
And because Ace Boogie, your guy, is that quarterback, you think he might, elbow nudge him like, yeah, come on. Let me get wide receiver on this 2-pointer. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I hope. I kind of was doing some damage in practice. Maybe they'd be like, "Hey,
Oh,
that's Bone been back since Rob haven't seen me in 2 years."
let's go. So one thing that I use in my speech that maybe you could use down there for the Watchmen is when you finish something, you go like this. You go, "Yo, Ace, you already know," and then see just where that goes. Just see where
What
it
the
goes.
hell? Yo, what are you talking about? What the hell
What
are
the
you
fuck
talking
is
about?
wrong with you?
What are you
On a
talking?
molecular level,
Yo,
what is wrong with you?
He was doing so great, and then
I
he
was
said
so
that.
proud of him. He
Oh
was
my
asking really
God.
intelligent questions.
Right,
He
but we
wasn't
letting
Corey
him rock.
Hammonding. There was no
Kenny,
inference of him at all.
Kenny,
Yo,
did they
Yeah.
think too much of me? You knew it was
they
coming.
did. They did.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was
They
coming.
did.
Bone, I apologize, but you already know.
I'm a trade you to the World Baseball Classic announce team for 6 hats
Damn.
and Met tickets. Not even good Met tickets. Like August Irish Heritage Day, which is on a Sunday afternoon in August. I will take those tickets, 500 level, no soda, no drinking, just sitting in the heat.
Mets are going to be good this year, Matt, right?
I know. That's why I'm okay with it.
Honestly, those Mets tickets are probably the most valuable thing you've traded me for, because most of the times I'm getting traded for bodega sandwiches.
Yo,
I did say
a
6
six
hats.
pack of beer, 6 hats. Yo, they could be some nice ass polo hats, $48 MSRP. Kenny, we've been talking to Bone for a while.
As a GM, I got to talk to you, general manager to general manager here. I will offer you
No.
Corey Hammond.
he said no.
No.
He said no.
That's not the diamond of the package. That's clearing cap space. I gotta beat the luxury tax here. I will offer you Corey Hammond, Big Rob Fabian on 2 series. You select them throughout the season. Just 2. He comes in for 2 series.
I'm back in the gym, by the way. So,
How much do Cory play?
That's at your discretion. He's got to at least play quarterback 1 play. 1 play. Just 1 play. It could be against any team of your choosing.
They both get 1 play.
In exchange,
Okay.
I get to select what jerseys you guys wear this year.
I don't know, bro.
But just hear me out. Just hear me out. I'm deal making. I get Casey Fennessy just to have as a mascot. Just he's there. He just hangs out. I'm trying to build up to something here, but that's the best I got. That's all I got.
I think the joke wasn't what you were going to say, Matt. What you were trying to make the joke is me, a joke. But you already know that I got that covered. So Kenny, they're trying to act like we haven't had conversations about the CCs, the little jugs of that that quarter
the
water.
CNC.
The quarter water. No, the quarter water and what it would take to get me from the Hawks last year, because you warned me. But anyway, let's get back into a more intelligent conversation.
Facts, though.
warn me.
Let's go back in more intelligent conversation, because we do have 2 guys that are representing A, the team that maybe we know the most about, and B, the team that we know the least about. So let's put you guys in a situation where we're talking about each other. Bone, let's start with you, because one of the things now that we're kind of putting the pieces together about who the Watchmen are, I don't think we have any questions about, the level of talent and the depth of the roster. I think the biggest questions that we have are what is the 7 and the 7 on offense and defense going to look like? I think we could pretty much know that the returner might be Pac Money. But how do you guys think, and you don't have to give me any secrets, how do you guys think that you guys line up week 1 without the mesh yet? Working in, the new guys and building the chemistry with the new units. How do you guys feel you stack up against, for instance, a BIC, the defending champs?
How we stack up? I think we got the talent to match them this year.
Oh, absolutely.
BIC tough.
My thing would be not because you guys have the talent. I mean, I don't think anybody in this call right now would disagree that the top talent from Baltimore is got to be on par, if not either the same level or maybe even a tick above the best squad roster, whatever we're talking about. My question more or less is how do you guys feel like you guys are coming together as a collective group? Because we are combining a lot of dudes that probably haven't played with each other that much. Where do you guys feel you are, at least when we get to week one? Because the season will progress and we'll get there. But week one, where do you guys feel like you match up with a team like BIC that's been together for years and has played all off season, basically, in the flag tournaments together, even getting even more in sync with each other?
I mean, chemistry is built in practice. We're practicing really well. I mean, we got the buzz week one, so before we got BIC. So we just got to play a game first, man. I mean, we got enough talent on our team that we were playing a look of first offense versus the first defense. But we just got to play the games first. And going out there week two, playing against BIC, I know they got a chip on their shoulder. They want to repeat. We got a chip on our shoulder. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Kenny, go to you. Speaking of those Watchmen, we talk about your schedule. We did that whole schedule thing. And then, basically the general consensus is that what we thought was most likely going to be the outcome is you're going to have a pretty good season, we'll say.
Right.
What's the tougher game in your guys' mind based on just what we see on the roster and what we know of the roster, especially based on what we heard this week about the other team I'm going to mention?
I mean,
the Watchmen or the U? Which team just on paper? Because we know that the U come with the chemistry that also makes whatever the sum of their parts even better. And I play them week one, so I'm not going to sit here and denigrate them.
Oh, that's why you're being nice.
I'm
trying to be professional. We got eyes on us. Tomlin's watching something.
Nah, you trying to be professional because the U's gonna be on that ass, and you know how upset they are after all this stuff. Nah, ain't no pause.
No one's on my ass.
No, listen. After the week Kenny, that you just had, bro, I'd be nice to them too if I had them week one.
Yeah, they gonna fuck y'all up for real. They kind of upset.
This is what I say all the time. I can say whatever I want. If I'm super nice, Ryan Shamar still gets into my Facebook Messenger saying, "Why are you talking shit?" It was actually shit that Rob said. A, B, my face is I want to kill this. Everyone wants to kill this face, whether I'm nice or whether I'm talking shit. So I might as well talk the shit and at least get something for the killing of the face that they want to kill. So, Kenny, answer the question if you don't mind, because I'm trying to be professional here, and they're just trying to wait for a pause moment.
It's all right. And on paper, it's definitely the Watchmen. I mean, they combined best two teams in Baltimore, a lot of vets. On paper, it got to be them. But I'll be honest with you, I ain't really sold. I don't think that I don't know if they're going to gel as fast as they need to get through playing us and the U. If I'm correct, which I'm not 1,000%, but they play the U in the beginning of the season as well. And that's rough. That's rough for a first-year team, regardless of how much talent is on that team. That's rough because they gotta understand that, these two groups, these two teams have been playing together for not only years, but off-season, in-game, back-to-back champions. Like literally, so it's going to take more than talent to just come out and get a win. It's going to take game planning, a lot of focus. It's going to take chemistry. They got to test each other. They've been playing each other for years, so they know each other's game. But at the same time, it's a lot different when you play with somebody. So that's what I think they're going to be missing. They're going to be missing that chemistry that we have. But then again, I think the U's gonna be missing it too because
that's what I was gonna get at. I agreed with some of what you said, but the U is facing a lot of adversity. There's a lot of changes that are being made, even last minute. Up until a few days ago, there's changes that are being made, and the Watchmen guys, even though they're guys that have played against each other, who knows you better than your enemy? if you're all I studied, listen, when I went to the U, it was an easy transition because I knew these guys. I've watched enough film.
That's different though.
How is that different?
That's different because one, honestly, is you adjusted to the game for what, over a decade, regardless of what team we were on or who came to play quarterback, or we had to constantly adjust in order to be able to stay in this game, or we could have ended up like the Illuminati, or, well, for y'all that know who that is, I know this is, new age. That's an old team that didn't make it out. I ain't talking about the real Illuminati, like talking about an old team.
Oh yeah, leave us alone, please. Yeah, we didn't get cool with Mike Tomlin just for y'all to come after us. Leave us alone, please.
Yeah,
I did get a DM from one of them the other day. It was weird.
Hey, yo, chill.
But to speak to Kenny's bigger point, the Watchmen in the BIC play week 2. Week 4 in Asbury, it will be the Watchmen versus the U. They'd be coming off a game against Boston and heading into a second matchup against the Buzz. They play the Renegades, then the Snow Tribe. So I'd say an even schedule for the Watchmen in their first season, because they're getting 2 shots against a division rival in DC. They're on Boston's schedule, and we don't know what Boston's going to look like, to be completely honest. And Bone, when if you're watching the video version of the podcast, Kenny gave his opinion of the Boston Omega squad. But Bone, when you look at that schedule and you see you're starting against the Buzz and then immediately going up against defending champions, how do you game plan for that on such a truncated timeline with a 3 quarterback system, essentially? And I know you said John Gauze will be leading the team, but when you have, and I'm not saying this in a negative light, egos and talent that need to be tended to. And Kenny, you could speak to this on your own because of the level of talent you have on the BIC on both sides of the ball. What are the things that you guys are going to have to game plan against in the first 15, 20 plays of those first 2 weeks to really keep those teams on their back foot and showcase the skill that the Gators and the Rare Breed showed last season?
I thought you might want to go first. I mean,
that was for me?
Yes. That was for both of us, I think.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. I mean, when you talk about the 3 quarterback system, I feel like it's all about whatever they have going on, whatever game plan they going on. Now, when I talk about BIC tough. I like BIC. But I feel like if we get to Scurry, then we win the game. If we make life hard for him, then we win the game, because they're like any other team in the league. They're not going to go as far. They're going to go as far as he take them. No one's going to come in and replace Scurry and win the game or win a championship. That's how I feel.
I agree.
So my game plan for BIC is to make life tough for Scurry and then score points, man, because their defense tough too. So if we score points and make life hard for him, and we come out with a W, I feel like we're going undefeated. We're not losing.
One of the more underrated aspects of Baltimore football, in my opinion, is that you guys consistently bring pretty competent, at a minimum, offensive line play, week in and week out. The Rare Breed offensive line last year was pretty great.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
The Gators offensive line year in, year out, it maybe it goes up and down depending on who's there. If there is an offensive line out there, because I think we could all agree that the BIC offensive line is probably the one that we just on paper say is the better or best one right now. Who would you say then, Rob?
What, the BIC's offensive line?
Who's the best offensive line on paper in the A7FL?
The Watchmen. If everybody
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so if everybody that went over there, I think the Watchmen have the best offensive line in the league. And so that's no shade to Michael Lee Bryan Sr. Right? I'm saying his name
went
right.
over there other than Reese?
Bone would have to answer that.
Well, I think they got.
As far as offensive linemen,
they got the Rare Breed guys from what I heard, and then I know there's Gators dudes that are.
It's a mixture of Red Breed and the Gators.
Which is why I would think they're the best.
So
right now.
My point is that when you look at the BIC, one of the strengths of their team, and obviously Sterry Codrington is the MVP of the league for a reason, right? Ashanti Worthy is the offensive player or a MVP, depending on who you ask, of the league for a reason. But their defense is led by a rotation that I think got deeper of defensive linemen that make the job easier on the back end of that defense for every single person there. We talk about JJ's season, and he's played great last season. But with a great pass rush in front of you, you're able to take some of the risks that he did because there's less time. So a way to compete against this team is, like you said, Bone, get some pressure on the quarterback, which it seems like if you're one of the defensive linemen, and based on the viral video of you tackling Huff the one time he decided to do a jump pass, and it was a horrible mistake. And the fact that your offensive line, on paper at least for the Watchmen, might be the one offensive line that we look to maybe have a chance against, slowing down the defensive line of BIC. I would agree on paper at least, because I think the one thing about the chemistry thing is it's really hard to put that into a quantitative value, and I think that's going to put the BIC ahead of a lot of these teams.
But I think people are underestimating these guys. Bone, please tell me if I'm wrong, but you guys are all friends outside of this, right? Even guys on other teams, you guys have hung out before, right? Y'all chilled before. You guys, there's a brotherhood over there in Baltimore. Am I wrong?
No, I can't speak for myself because I'm a homebody. I don't get all up in the mix. But like I said, I've been playing ball with these guys for a long time. Definitely Ace, Nick, and all of them. So we got some type of, chemistry and brotherhood. But outside of football, I stay in the house. Them guys, they go out. They do what they gotta do.
So you think, because I think everyone is really I think if you go in there thinking the Watchmen might not have the chemistry to kick up, you might fuck around and lose. Thinking that they're not. I don't know.
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to say that they're not maybe the second, if not the second, the third. Like when we eventually maybe hypothetically
let's restructure. Right? No. Listen, right? Nobody's gonna like it. Let's restructure.
You gotta put them at. You gotta put them at
number two. You have to. We have to. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's not even say a bunch of words and call it what it is. Let's call it spade a spade, bro.
We're doing that next week,
Watchmen, right, I think so.
Yeah, we are next week live. The week of the opener. Next Wednesday night at a time that will be determined after this podcast, because we have to coordinate schedules. These guys are parents, and I really don't do much at nighttime. I am a homebody, as Bone is.
And at times, Rob is now a basketball coach. He's just out there.
Yeah.
No.
Coach Carter having ass.
Not this week. But they won. They did win.
That's what's up. So Kenny, we've been letting you chill in the background there, and we have you on the podcast. So I want to hear some input. One thing that we've been dancing around is quite a little bit of news. A little bit of news, one might say, if you were Nathaniel Webster Spencer. Is the thing that we're dancing around with what happened with the U quarterback situation.
You dancing around it.
I didn't dance around it. We just haven't. We talked about Buck
I get
changing.
It. You dancing around. Oh, no,
man, you guys are lucky. I didn't do the Baltimore U yet, and I'm still not going to. But Kenny,
you can't do that no more. Like they back to Patterson.
No, I meant like just. I just meant pronounce.
Did
it
Snags jump back, or is he still in?
I don't know. He's doing a live right now, yelling at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, so Snags said he's not leaving.
Snags said Kenny, 10 toes. He locked in.
He ready to rock. And he already said fuck you to every other team. So I don't know if he was on this show doing that.
Oh, he pulled that. Yeah, he pulled that half baked. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
That's Snags though, man.
Kenny, we've been talking a lot about the Watchmen, and rightfully so. I think there's a lot more to ask and wonder about them, and obviously having Bone on, I would say a legend in this league. I mean, the guy is the only quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, linebacker in the history of our league. I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's other guys.
True
Played
story.
more positions than George Blanda.
I tried to cover him, and we was like, they came down to Jersey, and we was up by a lot. So I'm like, I got something. I'm gonna go out there and cover him. He fat. He can't do nothing. Man, that boy cooked me, boy. I was thankful for the D line.
Bro, listen, I love Killer, y'all. I love Mason. But Bone cooked Mason one time when we played, and I never forgave him for that. I'm like, bro, you letting him cook you, bro? How? He's like, nah, he big as hell. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about?
Because when you watch it, it just looked like you can do it. Like, I really thought that I could do it. Like, when I got out there, shit was bad, bro. Like, it was real bad. I mean, luckily we was up and the quarterback ain't see. He was wide open in the end zone. But yeah, man, it was bad. He was a bad man. I mean, I think he slowed down some. Just my opinion, though. I don't know if he still got it like he used to. He kind of quiet now.
Can't throw the ball.
Well, what do you think? Yeah, I could throw it to you. You already know. But Kenny,
my God.
Oh,
but
Jesus,
Kenny,
Mary, mother of Batman.
come on, it's not that bad. And I moved on from it relatively quickly. You guys sold it worse than I
It's
did.
not as concussive as it usually is. It is not the bombardment that we are used to. But we are next week going to be announcing our super official, unofficial top 10, our first of the season, and previewing the first 3 games of the games of the week. And we will be having the BIC on that schedule. I believe they're opening our slate at 1 p.m. on March 26th. Back to you, Cory.
Well, and what I was kind of leading into is the whole, the Buck thing, and not to get into the specifics of the drama of the little A7FL maneuvers, basically right before the season starts. But Kenny, what do you think that does to the league, and how do you think that shift from those Baltimore guys going back down and joining the Watchmen late, how big of a move is that? What do you think of that move in general, and what are you comfortable kind of putting out there as far as your opinion on these types of things?
Well, first of all, I'm always comfortable. Second of all,
talk that shit, Kenny.
I'm always comfortable. Like, that was a big move. Like, that was a real big move. A lot of people got tight. A lot of people mad. I mean, obviously, there's some extra stuff involved that I don't know too much about to speak on, but just to take that amount of talent, your potential starting quarterback and one of the fastest receivers in the league, just to take that and shift that to a team who was already going to be in competition with y'all, that's rough. It's not like they went to, a team, per se, the Snow Tribe. No offense, Cory. You feel me? It's not like they.
I don't doubt that Big Mike was calling them, but anyway,
I wouldn't. I mean, I hear Big Mike, talking big money, but that's for another story. But yeah, bro, that's rough. Like, that's rough to lose them guys. Like, now, however, I'm not counting them out. You can't count them out. Like, Moon is Moon, bro. Like, in case you don't know who that man is, watch every single time that the U almost definitely lost, he make a play, like, out of nowhere and change the game. So I'm not counting them out. I think they're going to be tough. I mean, we're going to kick their ass. But then again, we're going to kick everybody's ass. So, I mean, I ain't really worried about it. But that's rough for them, man. I don't feel bad. I don't want to lie. But if I was to feel bad, it would be for that. Like, that's tough. That's a big loss.
Kenny, to speak ahead, to speak on that a little bit, when you're recruiting, I know one of the things you prided yourself on, at least internally, leading into the season, was you guys weren't jumping at the chance to bring in Baltimore players, to bring in people from outside the division. Now, we heard rumors and conversations about other players possibly coming in, but when you're recruiting and you're looking to add to this team that already has rookie of the year, the person who came second in defensive player of the year, arguably could have been DPOY. You have the MVP, the offensive player of the year. You have the biggest pieces to the board, and you have the most dynamic and, deep roster of returners in the league. How do you prevent a situation like we saw with Baltimore, where players jump to different teams in different divisions? We've seen it happen in Florida. We see Las Vegas has turned into the 2011 NBA free agency, where things are being announced and players are moving around, looking to team up together. The BIC seem to be calm within the chaos. How do you manage that, and how do you perpetuate that at every level of the organization?
It's called BIC football. It doesn't matter who plays or who joins the team. I mean, this is how we handle ourselves. We're gonna come out and we're gonna put on a show, and we're gonna play our game. I mean, BIC isn't new to having stars. I mean, in case y'all didn't, know, but we got two players that played for BIC before. One of them who won a championship with us in 2016. We're not new to having talent. So managing talent, and you know what? To be completely honest, I think that it was a little rougher to help manage the team in 2016 than it is now, because these guys is like amazing, bro. They driven. They only want to win. They don't have no. It seems like at times, bro, there's nothing more important than these seven. It seems like there's nothing more important than winning a championship. Like it's so easy. It's so easy to deal with the talent that come over here. Like, because everybody's coming over with the same mindset. We're gonna do what it takes to win. We're gonna rotate to the other team to death. Like, you can't. What are you gonna do when you have to block 4 different people in the same series and you don't have a sub? Like, they know that. They're feeding into that. They feeding into the game. So honestly, I can't even lie and make it seem like it's the management. It's easy. They police themselves, they coach themselves, and most importantly, our leader, Sterry just don't play no games with nobody. If you're not going to practice and you're not going to watch film and you're not going to do the research, you're not going to play. And the guys know that. So they practice, they watch film, and they do the research on our next opponent. It's really easy for us. For
Two
me,
questions. 2 questions. What position is your my player?
I was about to ask the same fucking question.
And second question, more important question. And this will be Cory Hammond going into our thing as we hear, the ref whistling your inbounds dead there because you took 6 seconds to get it in because you were thinking.
PlayStation. Goddamn PlayStation. Sold me out.
But we saw the remote multiple times. I don't care. You got the kind of mind that you can multitask, and it's more of an exercise, right? You're thinking on the fly. It's almost like a management style that you're working on. But an interesting conversation we've had in the past couple of weeks, here on the 3-on-1 podcast, has been about specifically BIC, their window, the fact that a lot of people agree that you guys are the favorite going in, whether we were doing it the week where we were talking about, hypothetically what the records would be as teams. And then last week when we were talking to Big Mo. But the other thing that we were talking about specifically last week is that after winning the championship, some of the hardships and struggles that go into staying on top, right? We were talking with Big Mo Ramadan, a legend in this league. He's been in more championship games than almost every single player in this league. He's been in 6 of them. That's a lot.
A lot, hell yeah. And 10 years at that, right?
But what he said is the year that they won the championship was one of his most miserable because of the amount of time that they were at the top and it was close and all of the things that went into it. And what the 4 of us were talking about, Rob, Matt, Mo, and myself were basically, and me asking questions because I didn't know from experience personally, was what is it that makes those types of seasons harder? And I think you just went into it a little bit, is the type of roster makeup that you have. But what is going to make BIC different this year as opposed to a lot of the teams that we've seen in the past? For instance, BIC in 2016, the Chiefs in 2018, the U after some of their
17.
So what is going to make this roster different than all of those returning champs in the past, maybe headed into potentially the most competitive season of the A7FL that we've seen?
Well, honestly, and I've told this story before. I've never been on a team where, like, ever, including the old BIC team, like literally an hour after the game, I would give it 2 hours maybe. By the time, you get home and you get settled, I'm thinking I'm gonna look in the chat and everybody just gonna be saying congratulations. By the time I got back to my house from the field, they were game planning for the next year. Like, it felt like we won. I had to really, like, I looked at my wife like, yo, did we just win? Like, they're game planning and they're recruiting. So that the attitude is different. Like, I love people saying, oh yeah, they hot-headed, they talking too much shit. I mean, that's because that's what we do. And really it's just me. I mean, maybe one other player, but it's just me for real on the most part. People can't stand K-Wack because, why you do that. But other than that, you don't really hear the team going crazy. The team is really, for the most part, not even on the board. And about our roster, if you ain't hear about the pickups, you don't know. You're gonna figure it out. We're the best recruiting team in this league. We have been for 3 years. We did it again this year. I know a lot of these shows and podcasts was doing strength of schedule and who made the best pickups, but I honestly feel like we have the best pickups. We have more rookie talent that y'all don't know about. We're going to win Rookie of the Year again, probably 3rd year running. Pacifically, we got a couple people. A linebacker by the name of Taj Fire. Y'all gonna love him. Especially seeing him in this defense with Vardy, Psycho, and Ole. Crazy. I mean, cats out their bag, Ole. On the other side of that, everybody's talking about Ole. Nobody's talking about Q. Q has respectfully tore this league up for as long as I've been in the league. Oh, well, he's over here as well. We got another rookie running back by the name of Ty. Man, the boy is fire, one-cut running back. I can't wait to see, all these people, I can't wait to see it gel together because every year we get told we got a super team and we doing, X, Y, and Z. And now y'all going to get people from, we're the best recruiting team. However you want to put it, we recruit heavily. And the guys that's in charge of recruiting and that have the power to recruit do excellent jobs. So that's what makes us different.
Now, I know you guys are real deep at wide receiver, but just like I asked Bone, are you going to be going over there with the elbow, the stereo, and get that, little, what I always used to give for Big Rob is a little tight end, little action on the 2-pointer yourself?
Hell no.
I guess we discussed that when Bone goes out for the pass, he's actually juking the shit out of people getting wide open.
That's a difference. He can actually catch. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, Bone different, man. Kenny tried his stint at tight end in 2015. It didn't really work. It didn't work out so well.
Chill, bro.
It didn't work out so well.
Now,
my quarterback.
Now, both of you guys have been doing a great job keeping it totally civil, and we love that shit because then we can ask more questions and get more going. But let's turn up the heat a little bit and not make it the OG divisions, the New Jersey on Baltimore crime, but let's open it up to the national conversation. We are a national show. Shout outs to the Ohio, the Florida, the Vegas, and the California division. But let's talk shit on them now, guys. Bone and Kenny, did you get a chance to either watch any of the other divisions, whether it was last year or some of the preseason stuff, or specifically the fall from the Vegas guys that we just saw out there?
I did see the Vegas fall.
Yeah, I watched some of that. I cut it off. It was horrible. They just
So
don't know what they're doing this yet. They just don't. They don't know what they're doing.
Oh, and that's true.
Yeah.
And you know, for all of us, you know, combined on, you know, the players, and no offense, Matt, but the players combined on this show right now, I think we're almost 40 years of experience in this league. Jesus Christ, we're old.
Yeah.
We are old, gentlemen.
I'm entering my 4th season of not getting hit at all. So I'm very happy. And I know there's a long line of players across the A7FL, much like Mo Ramadan, who want to light me up like a fucking Christmas tree. I respect it, but as soon as it's like 12:45, I ain't going nowhere near that field. I'm gonna have Rob. I'm gonna stand behind Rob the entire time. It's just going to be just moving it. I'm going to throw Alex Soberman at him. I'll throw David Soberman at him. I'll go to Ryan's house, get him out of the production hub, throw him at them. It's just about staying alive. Will Franklin, I'm sorry. If it's going to be me or you.
Nah, Will Franklin got to go.
Bro.
He's first.
Well, Matt's staying alive. We're going to keep his ass alive. We're going to keep him off that field once it hits 12:43. He's shuffling over to the sideline. You should see the hands pregame before the championship, catching that thing, throwing it lefty, all that. But now we get to the other divisions. We'll go one at a time. Of the other divisions, which do you guys think is the most competitive right now, and which do you think has the most to prove? We'll start with Bone.
I feel like it's the Florida team, the Florida division, whatever division they in.
Well, I think it's Florida.
They almost beat Red Breed if they wasn't acting like a fucking idiot and play football.
Now, that being said, do you think that loss taught them their lesson, or you think they might need to learn another one?
I hope so. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes, and sometimes you don't. I hope so. I don't care nothing about them, but I hope they learn from them.
Which do you think of the division that you've seen is the one that needs the most work?
Wherever Vegas at.
Yo,
only because I feel like they just starting. Like, I don't know.
How do you feel, Bone? How do you feel as a defensive lineman about lining up and the team across from you is running a wishbone? Go.
A wishbone 707 is insane. Like,
yo, Bone hates Vegas, bro.
I don't know. I've seen clips of that quarterback, the big quarterback. Is he in Vegas?
Who,
the
Trey
big,
Robinson?
The forklift.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Scott.
I thought he said the BIC. You know how the guys in Baltimore always call BIC BIC. I thought he was saying BIC. No, you're saying the big.
Yeah, the big guy that plays quarterback. Is he in Vegas?
Yeah, the forklift. Yeah, Scooter.
I don't think he's really a quarterback. I think they just be like using him sometime.
No, he's a QB.
No, he's an actual he's well regarded as a flag quarterback.
He's not a starting QB on his current team.
He's a thick Lenny Manziel.
What's his current team? Rob, what's his current team?
I couldn't tell you.
Exactly, because it's not the kryptonite. Because I just talked to Darnell Richardson when my son Jackson, the 8-year-old, was at the karate tournament getting his third place, boom, boom, sparring belt. He got third place overall, and he was against 10-year-olds. He's 8. Let's go. My children know how to win, even though I don't.
Shout out to
I knew that was coming.
Kung Fu Cory.
I knew that was coming.
Sensei Dave actually yells at me if I try to coach, and I try my best to not. He goes, Cory, I told you. I swear to God, it's actually hilarious. I love it.
Does he look like Diedrich Bader from Napoleon Dynamite? Because if so, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need photos. I'm gonna need proof.
First of all, I don't know that reference. The rest of these guys.
How do you not know that reference?
I don't know the name of the guy from.
He was the dude with the mustache like mine. You hated Napoleon Dynamite? Yeah, it wasn't all that great.
Raise your hand if you like that movie.
I didn't hate it. It was okay.
Whatever, I don't get it.
I last watched it when I was like 16.
I was told if you watch it the second time, it's funnier, and I never did. So there you go. But anyway, we're getting off track. Bonus talking shit about Vegas. So Scott Hamilton actually, Darnell Richardson told me when he called me on the phone that Scott Hamilton just dipped the kryptonite. He's on the Insomniacs, and according to sources, he may even be the starting quarterback over Trey Robinson, who's playing running back. But who knows what's going on over there? It's all crazy.
What is happening?
How about this, Bone? Let me ask you another question about our beloved. Show the jersey. You might as well, Matt.
But don't forget the other two questions you had to make sure you ask them to Kenny too, Corey.
I'm going to. Oh no.
All right.
Oh no. Man, this is a horrible place inside this mind, but I got it under control most of the time. Car crash. So we were watching this fall with the team, the Hunters that run the Wishbone. Bone, if you were on a team and the coach took out John Gall as the best quarterback to put in a guy instead of the starter that was the best, how would you feel as a player, and would you want to play for that coach moving forward?
I mean, I'll question it. I mean, sometimes people feel like they got the best interest of what they're thinking at the moment, but sometimes it's not. But if you're taking out a starting quarterback for whatever reason, I'm a question and be like, yo, what's going on?
What if your team then goes down 14-0, puts the kid back in, and then he's balling out? How do you feel about your coach then?
The starting quarterback?
Yes, sir. That's what happened with the Hunters versus the Kryptonite.
I guess Buddy don't know what he's doing then.
Well, there you go. From Bone's lips to everyone's ears. And Kenny Stansbury, who do you think is the toughest division that's out there between the rest of them, not Baltimore or Jersey?
There's no such thing.
What?
No such thing. There's no such thing.
There's
no
no
other tough division. They don't exist. Like, there's no such thing at all.
So when you look at the way that things are aligned this year, do you think that it's more fortunate for BIC that there's a shorter path to the championship and the championship is going to be the West? Or do you think it was a little bit of an easier road last year?
No, this year is actually harder because, one, we have to play a pissed off Florida team who came up here and literally only gave the game up because they didn't know how to manage it. And
but you said that they're nobody too, right? But so why worry about that?
Not worried about it is something I don't do. You can say that for Snow Tribe. I'm not worried about it.
You worried about the Snow Tribe? I feel you.
The facts of it is,
if I were BIC, I'd be worried about the Snow Tribe too.
We'll have to go through the Watchmen. We'll have to go through the Watchmen. We'll have to go through the U. And then we have to play, like I said, a pissed off Florida team, which is still way harder.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Playing.
That's the thing. In the East, those teams, the Watchmen might play the U in the week before when you're playing the Snow Tribe in the 4th seed.
Yeah, we probably won't play them both.
But that's what I'm saying.
100%.
It's the East is now condensed, so you have less against the East, and now that championship isn't against whoever that second best team in the East is. So maybe it is tougher because our regular season in the East is against Jersey, Baltimore, Boston.
But it is completely tougher. I mean, you can't really add Boston, but if you let's really look at it. Snow Tribe has picked up pieces they haven't had. The Animals, come on, we don't even got to talk about that. Huff and everybody he brought.
We have talked about that. Yeah, absolutely.
The Renegades picked up CP and a bunch of people that I honestly I don't think everybody know they're there. Like, they got a couple weapons as well. So I think every team in New Jersey has improved by far. I know for a fact the Buzz has improved, and you just created the Watchmen out of the best two teams. So our games are harder than what they're going to have to play. You could send any team almost from our division anywhere, and they're going to win. It's extremely simple. So while we beating the shit out of each other all year, then we got to play.
The West Coast has an easier path.
But one of the things, one of the terms that we've actually adopted from the other side of the ball, shout outs to those guys over there, Casey Cox. There's a new voice in town over there. We'll talk about Scott McCorkle in a little bit, and nobody knows that name because he's actually
whose last name is McCorkle.
His real name is Bjorn Skarsgård, but just to make everybody feel
goodness.
And Derek Duncan and Chris Farah. But one of the things that they use over there to use their term is that iron sharpens iron. And they talk about it in their divisions all the time. And even the Florida guys, Joey Bate and Woody Ness Charles from the parlay have even adopted that iron sharpens iron. But basically, we're talking about a whole lot of pewter. And I don't know if you guys know your metals, but check out if pewter is hard or soft. Pause. But with that, look at Rob's face. Pewter.
Come
on.
I don't even know what that is, bro.
Pewter is like
it's a semi-precious metal. But
Yes,
but Cory,
anyway.
please
I
elucidate
moved
on your
on from it.
statement.
All right, so nobody likes the iron sharpens iron. Pewter is not sharp or hard, so it
Well, what do
It's
water guns
it's-
do? Do water guns sharpen water guns? You can't shoot.
That's a better-
Oh,
I at least kept it
metal.
metal. So that's what I'm
Jeez,
saying.
shots fired.
You're saying that the Jersey and the Baltimore division are harder, and we're gonna get a lot of text messages for this one.
Completely, like nah.
But
we
doesn't
earned
that set up whoever comes out on top of this division to be far and away the best team in the A7FL?
hands down? As
So
far
that's
as the
what I'm
actual
saying.
championship
But
game,
isn't that
Yes,
an
you're
advantage
right.
for the West Coast teams? Because you guys are going to have to go
I don't
through.
know. Is that
like,
an advantage? For
we
the,
can
the
look
tough
at-
team. Go ahead, man.
If we look at it presumptively, heading into the Final Four, it will most likely be a combination of the Watchmen, BIC, U, and Nightcrawlers. Those are,
Okay.
in
That's
my
right.
opinion, the
Okay.
4 best teams
You already know.
in the Northeast. The Snow
That's
Tribe could
fair.
sneak in there. A lot of random and wild shit could happen this season
That's
for
fair.
all the reasons that Kenny said. On the West Coast,
You guys said I wouldn't have a
it's-
6-pack going in that all white, and I lost 40 pounds. Now I don't know if I have a 6-pack. Bro.
you're gonna have to wear that orange too. I can't wait to show up to the stadium and see you in the blue and orange because it'll give me so much joy to watch that on my
All right.
television.
Here he go with another one of his mini jerseys. Hold on.
No.
Okay,
These are
the
the
cleats.
Iceman cleats.
Oh, that's calm.
That's
You saw the fire. Now you got the ice.
But when you look at that, that's a meat grinder. And then for Vegas, they're gonna have to play reconstituted teams and relearn everything they developed in the offseason, in the preseason. We might see the Sin City Volcanoes, who are talking straight cash shit heading into the season. Like if you take a look at the Instagram comments, they are coming to win. And you have the Volcanoes who are coming out of Columbus, who will end up playing one of those Vegas teams or an LA team when we touch down in the Final Four in Cincinnati. That road is easier, in my opinion, but that might make a wild ass. We might see a Covington Heist BIC championship game. Like that is something that could plausibly happen.
That's insane.
I don't think the first wouldn't let that happen. I don't think the Vegas guys let a Cincinnati team take their shine. It's over there this year. It's in Vegas. This is
Oh my God.
why it was done. I don't think the
Yeah.
Vegas team is going to let a LA or
If Vegas
Listen,
if Vegas gives this up and doesn't end up in the championship, I'm not calling another game for them. I'm not doing it. They better not. They better not.
I think more important.
No, fire me right now. Fire me right now.
If Derek Duncan doesn't have one of the teams from the 2 divisions that he's involved with in,
Oh my goodness.
how could he sit there in Arizona watching from Anderson Automotive Arena? But I think that they'll be good. I think that they'll be good. I don't think that we have to worry about that. And I think a lot of Vegas shade has been thrown, and I think a little bit unwarranted. Like I said, I've been out there.
It's all warranted. Stop being nice. Corey's such a half
Oh,
nice
they was-
guy. It's crazy.
They was throwing shade at us too. Look, the simple facts of it is this: when you watch those games, do you notice some talent? Absolutely, you notice some talent.
Absolutely, you do. Yeah.
But man, this our game. So when you watch them come out in wishbone sets, when you watch them with fat quarterbacks and 2 offensive linemen, and you
running backs off the line, 15 yards back, like just standing there with their hands on their
you
knees.
understand?
Yeah. I feel you.
Rob will bring
Bone,
my
how would
kids
you
up there,
feel
man.
if defenders on your team were basically playing a 3-2 zone, like in the NBA, like what Kenny's doing right now in 2K?
7-on-7, you playing zone? That's insane. That's crazy.
Listen, Bone, do
Ask-
you
ask
understand
the
how many
Insomniacs.
times?
Ask
Do you
the
understand how
Insomniacs
many
they did that again.
conversations I've had with people trying to explain to them why and how come a zone doesn't work well in this league? You have to be very smart and very tricky to apply a
You could
zone
do
in
it.
this league.
You could
and
do it
make
maybe
it
as a
work.
goal line defense because you shorten the field and it's
Come
not
on
that
now.
deep, and then you have smaller zones, but you can't do it full field. Anyway, never mind. They
The
don't
only-
listen
the
to us
only
anyway. They're just gonna come on
half
here and just
successful
try to hate on us. What?
The only half successful zone that was ever ran was by the U, and it turned out to be not JJ's fault, and he ended up on BIC. So I mean, like,
Was it not JJ's fault, or was it? No, anyway. So my thing is though, what Matt's saying is maybe it's easier to be on the West Coast and have the hypothetical easier route. But what I'm saying is that when you face the easier schedule, and then you got to face whoever comes out of the East.
Agreed.
That is going to be a wake-up call.
It's going to be a wake-up call.
I don't think it matters where the game is played or what time or what time zone. Based on what the rest of the panel is saying, Derek, I got you back. Love the Vegas guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for flying me out there. But pause. Well, why are you making
no? Ain't no
noises,
pause,
bro?
Take it out. Take it out your mouth. But go ahead, continue.
I put my mouthpiece back in that bag. It's been out for a while. I can't talk with the mouthpiece in.
Yo, I'm out. I'm out. Cory's bugging. Yo.
Hey,
What else? Say what you say.
So time you get off.
Snags. Well, he's still doing his live from 6 hours before, right? Anyway. So
him and Cory Price are going live for live. I think they're trying to stay on live until the start of the season. For those most of you who don't know, players in our league, primarily in the Northeast, and the reason why we have Bone and Kenny on are because we heard them in numerous, very prolific, aside from the fact that we've wanted to have them on the show for a minute, is because of these prolific Facebook lives that players like Snag Sosa or Cory Price hold, where
and
they
RTU
are
and our view. Yeah, we got a lot of them, man. There's some A7FL content.
It's
somebody soon, I guess.
We're a content delivery company that also has football. We're a podcast network with a football league. That's basically what we are at this point. But when you guys,
y'all the only ones that can really get it outside of the players. Like, those other pages are in the players chat. So if you're not a player, you'll never see.
You're not privy to that information, right?
Like, y'all information spreads, across.
Based on some of the things that happen in those lives, I think maybe that's better that way.
Yeah.
Certain words that Lenny is using and certain things that guys are doing on camera. I don't know if that's a good look for the whole.
They're all ordering food. They're all signing up to Skillshare, our sponsor. Click the link in the description right now and get free 30 days of Skillshare, where you can build up your vocabulary or maybe build a house or other things that are not what goes on those lives. Click the link in the description below if you're watching us on the video version. Skillshare, proud sponsor of the A7FL and sponsoring this show for reasons I necessarily don't understand.
And it's free. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
You'll hear it.
It's free. If you sign up, we get money. If we get money, Cory gets to feed his children and Rob gets to run his basketball camp, because I feel like Rob's going to end up running a basketball camp. It's either that or me and Cory are going to be selling chocolate outside Asbury Park Stadium every Sunday.
That's deep.
So to put a bell on it and call it a day with these other divisions, you guys would agree that the East is what they say is like the SEC. Is there, what of these divisions that we're talking about, and I'll give you guys each a chance to make nice with one of them, which do you think is the closest in the next 5 years to putting it all together, and why? Bone.
Look, I'm back.
All right, go Kenny. You're ready to
go.
Maybe,
I'll say maybe Vegas, because they got some money over there, and they get a little bit more, I don't know, structure, understanding of the game. Their team's gonna be better. But I feel like it's them. I feel like it's Vegas. In the next 5 years, they're going to be up and coming. I don't know if I'll be still playing the next 5 years, but I'll be watching over.
How you feel, Kenny?
Actually, I think is Well, I kind of gotta agree with him. I originally feel like it's Florida because, like, Florida is filled with ball players, and it's just a matter of time before, these other ball players start to get wind that this league exists. And when that happens, yeah, the league gonna be in trouble. But at the same time, I mean, Vegas do got a bag and money talk. I mean, they even had Snow Tribe's finest out there because money talk. So you don't know who's gonna get that bag. You don't know who's gonna play. So I would say it's between them two. And I don't know. I can't really pick. It would be between them two. It's either gonna be money or talent. Money that brings talent. That's what it's going
You
to be.
guys,
talent.
you both are names in this league that big time executives with both the interest as far as the money, the investment, but also maybe in the competitiveness trying to win. Another division could look at a guy like Bone, a guy like Ken Stansbury, and say there's a lot of value in these guys, even if they're not playing. Of the divisions that exist right now, which would you maybe take a look at if you were getting offered that money that talks to maybe go over there?
I'm going to Vegas. That's not even a question.
Yeah, that's where the money at, the Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas.
You heard it, Derek. You heard it, Derek. Just give these guys a call. Maybe you can make something work out. These are some ballers too, bro. Defensive line play out there in Vegas goes straight up from whatever they're talking about, that pewter to iron. So before I go into more of a clown show, Rob and Matt, is there anything else that we want to cover with these guys?
I just want to ask both of them, don't answer together now, but I'll go Bone first. Of course, winning the championship is the end goal and all that, but in your honest opinion, where's the worst place the Watchmen can end up?
Oh man!
According to some people, DC.
Tough.
That would have been the worst thing ever if it is called the DC Watchmen. People had to unite against that. But go ahead.
I think anything under second place, I feel like we're going to be first. I feel like we're going to be first. That week 2 circle is going to determine what's going on.
But ask the U last year, the regular season matchup against BIC didn't matter when they had a chance back in the playoffs again. So if you guys lose that week 2, you prefer to win the playoff game, right? So
it's hard beating the team twice. It's hard beating the team twice. But
it's hard beating 3 times.
They kicked everybody ass last year.
Relax. Don't say no it ain't. Because that third time was barely a charm. Relax.
Hey,
Congratulations, champ. Congratulations, champ.
What happens when you almost win?
I don't know. I never went through that. I'm a winner.
Yeah,
I don't know
about that. I don't know nothing about
out
of there.
Well, since an expert, since I'm an expert, let me take this one, Kenny. No, I'm shit.
Almost winning ain't winning. I don't care how close it was. Almost winning ain't winning.
Kenny,
it ain't hard to beat the team twice. We beat them twice last year. What we talking about?
What's your guy, Kenny? What's your guy's goal? Do you just want to win no matter what it takes, or are you expecting an undefeated season in which you make a statement that everybody else is playing a child's game and you guys are grown ass men smacking people in the face?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's chip or bust, but along the way, we don't plan on losing. Every one game at a time, man. It don't really matter who you is. Yeah. But we play our first championship game March 26th against the Renegades. And then our next championship game is against the Watchmen. And then whoever else on the schedule, we got to play a championship game every week. It's just what it is. We can't lose. It's the playoffs. That shit already started. We won't. We ain't
and I was gonna ask, what do you tell your guys to make sure that every game they show up? And that's what you tell them. So you already answered that. That was telepathic, my friend. Well done.
Bro, ask any of my guys. When we start the game, we down 21. Like they know the shit. When we start, we down 21. What are we going to do? We can't come out and play a regular game. How are we gonna get back 21 points by playing a regular game? That's how we start the game, bro. Like what are you gonna do against that? You You have to come out and destroy everything in front of you, and that's what we plan on doing. It's extremely simple. Every person who steps on the field, including Bone and the Watchman, is dead. Like, it's simple.
Them boys
We
up
out
front a
here.
little soft too. I'm gonna let you know that.
Wait,
We out
what was
here.
that, Bone? What was that, Bone?
Compared to
We out
me,
here.
them little white boys up front, a little soft.
Oh man,
You talking about the one that won
They
Rookie of the
just-
Year?
They just know how to, they just know how to. Well, when I was blocking them, I can speak for myself. Well, I'm just me. That's all.
Ain't shit. I tried to talk shit to Bone before the game. He gonna smile and walk away.
You
And I
can't talk
still
shit to him.
feel
Oh
like,
my God, you cannot talk. Let me speak on that really quick, bro. Bone is one of the worst players in the league to talk shit to, bro. He's on the field, he's so quiet, and he's not even friendly. He's just quiet. Like, you don't hear him grunt, you don't hear him yell, you don't hear good play. He doesn't say anything. He just gets up and gets back to it. I remember I lined up against Bone. I'm like, yeah, it's time. Bone just looked up with that face right there. He's like, okay. And then proceeded to shove me 5 yards backwards while I'm trying to catch my footage.
Or how about the time when he scored a touchdown running the ball and then flipped, and then we all said, in the actual fuck?
Yo, and he can actually run the ball too. Listen, no shade. Bone is a pretty good running back.
Bone, am I making that up? I remember you distinctly in my face doing a fucking backflip. Is that like back in your day? You could easily, right?
Yeah, when I was in elementary school.
You've done it in the A7. I've seen you do it in the A7. Right? Nah, man.
Hey, Rob, was you on the field when Huff tried to jump in the air? And Bone killed him? Was that your? That was your fault?
100%. No. Nah,
That
listen.
was your fault?
Huff's rule was don't block Bone. And
That's a bad rule.
Bone, if I'm lying, remember we even said it on the field. Bone was right there. Bone killed him. And I'm like, you sure you still don't want us to block him? He was like, man, don't block Bone. Don't block. Bone was open almost every play against Huff. You go watch the film.
And that game, Rob, they were doing the two lineman thing, right? They were spreading out four, and it was one of those quick plays that he accounted for a man, in the protection with his, at the skill set that
with his athleticism. They're athletic. It's just Huff felt like he can beat him with his legs.
Yeah, nope.
He was like, these big linemen are not going to catch me. So when he did that little Super Mario hop, and Bone like put one on.
Yeah, it went from Super Mario hop to Sonic rings getting.
Yeah, that hurt. As an offensive lineman, that hurt to watch, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
So with that being said, and maybe an upset looming, because Rob's been on a losing streak, and I think he needs some help here, Bone. But tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. That's tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. My beautiful wife, who deals with me all the time. You guys only have to deal with me maybe max an hour and a half a week, unless you're Ken Stansbury and I'm calling him and like, why don't my teams like me?
Oh my God. Yeah.
But tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. We have these beautiful t-shirt options for everyone, not just the guests of our show, which we obviously love talking about, but listeners and even management in the Vegas division, the highest concentration of Matt Ryan faces I've ever seen in my life. And, there's a lot of A7FL Matt Ryan face content around me. A lot.
What's up, girl?
That's a face. So when you go to that website, tinyurl.com/A7FL merch, Bone and Kenny, they feature the three main shirts. And one is Rob's Huss Huss. Huss Huss. The other one is the I'll Try from me, which only quarterbacks that feel bad for me choose on our show. And then I buy, and then they still don't even, I buy for them because I'm so happy about it, and they still don't even always get shipped to them. But then there's Matt's, the thick boy season, which I think would be the favorite going into this conversation. But Bone and Kenny, we ask all.
You heard the shade? You heard the shade?
Why? Because we fat? Because we big boys? That's why?
You're wearing a Nike shirt, so I'm assuming you're not going to do the I'll try because you'll get the just do it, which I always hear. And to be honest, Kenny, as much skill you have at football, you've never been a Huss guy to me. And that's just to me. Just to me. Now,
ain't
Bone
seen
maybe
me.
goes the other way. We just asked about if you were going to go in at wide receiver, and you admitted outright, nope, it's not happening. So tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. And if you want, I will Stugatz it later. But Bone, which of the 3 shirts are you picking? Are you picking the Huss Huss, the I'll Try, or the TBS Matt Ryan special?
Maybe the Huss Huss.
Ooh, I told you.
Thank
There
you,
you
Bone.
go.
Thank you, Bone. Let's go. Let's go. Huss back on top.
All right, so he said maybe the Huss Huss because I think he's thinking about one or the other. And I think everybody at home listening, and Bone specifically, when you get a chance, definitely check out, here's my Stugatz, tinyurl.com/7 merch to see the actual artwork. But Kenny, since I know you're a huge fan of the artwork, which is the logo slogan that you go with on your A7FL shirt, which, by the way, is just a little bit over the Skillshare membership, which is free, which is only $20 plus shipping.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Huss Huss. I'm gonna go with my boy Rob.
Oh!
But I will say this though. Matt Ryan put his face on the shirt that say "Sup, girl."
Yeah. Yo,
That's
listen.
I'm
There's a
telling
round 2 of shirts. That Sup Girl shirt with Matt Ryan's face on it.
That's
I
it,
would want
bro.
one, bro. I would
Jess,
want one.
I'm telling you.
There's been a
He said,
request.
Jess.
No, I'm telling her right now. There's been a
No, I
request
know.
for the Matt Ryan, but not just Big Boy season, which obviously is awesome, but just Sup Girl. That's been requested.
But it needs
She's
the
on it.
70s
Face on it.
handlebar, the Joe
Oh,
Willie
no.
up and
Yeah,
running.
Fu Manchu it up. Fu Manchu it up. Yeah. She's on it. She's on it.
Sup, girl.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping the mustache for the season, by the way.
As you
We
should.
can put it on a poll. I'm just gonna rock the mustache this season, and I'm gonna be on the biggest platforms we've ever been on, looking like a cop. I really feel like it's not gonna end well for me.
And you
but
wonder why
I'm leaning into
A7FL
it.
players want to tackle you. Anyway. My wife, we should put a poll up. Should I cut my hair? My wife keeps telling me I should, but I just put so much work into not doing anything. How can I at this point do it? How can I cut it?
All right, Cory. Here's the deal. We'll cut your hair
It
live
sounds
on
like
the
a
show
no already. No.
Wait,
Go ahead.
No.
Finish the bit.
If the Snow Tribe beats the U, you can cut your hair. If the Snow Tribe loses to the U, you have to grow it until at least week 4.
I was gonna grow it anyway, and I'm gonna beat the fucking you, Ryan Shamar. You're lucky I didn't say that there were certain people. No, I'm just I don't want to get too spicy.
Hey yo, who did y'all just pick up, Cory? I heard y'all had some big pickups.
I would say that we didn't necessarily freshly pick up anybody, but we just we righted certain wrongs, in my opinion.
Okay, which wrongs did you guys write?
tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. That's tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. And you heard it from Ken Stansbury and Bone. They're going with the Huss Huss. What will you go with, listener?
You can go to tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. You can go to Skillshare. Both of those links are in the description below. Unless you're listening to the audio version of this show, at this point, you should be watching the video version just for Rob and Bone and Kenny's reactions alone. It's worth watching on YouTube. Next week on the program, we will be live on the A7FL YouTube channel, and we may have a litany of announcements. You're an asshole, Cory. You're an asshole.
Oh my boo.
Stop. You'll be booing. You'll be booing because you've been rooting. You'll always root for me to lose against your former team, the we, right?
Listen, you go against the U or BIC. I don't think you're gonna win.
All of a sudden it's we, right?
Always we.
Yo, who jersey was y'all gonna show earlier? Y'all told somebody to show a jersey.
Oh no, he thought I was gonna show a jersey, and then that's when I pulled out the cleats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, y'all new ones came in yet? They're not reversible this year, right?
No, you actually have to put a deposit down. And I tell Big Mike every single team meeting to stop talking about the fucking jerseys. Let's play football.
Bro.
And as we pull the car out of the ditch, the tow truck has arrived, and that means we've got to send this one home. It is not all the way in frame, Cory. You fucking shadrul. Thank you so much to our guest this week, Kenny Stansbury of the Trenton BIC and Bone of the newly minted Baltimore Watchman. Hopefully we will see them drive in the Warthog from Blood Gulch into the A7FL fields this season, and we will get things on and off the rails, off the goddamn motherfucking rails.
Rob was showing his new avatar for Facebook. That's his new avatar.
Oh my God. I swear every week, the worst team to perform in the league is getting the trash can award. I promise you. Please don't let it be y'all, bro. I promise. You're getting the trash can award.
Oh, hey, man. We're doing show prep on the show. That's fun.
Oh, yeah.
On that note, for Big Rob Fabian, for Cory Hammond, we'll be live next week, which after this show makes me excited to see what the fuck's gonna happen. But for all of us here at the A7FL, we're a week and a half away from the start of the season. What the fuck are you doing? Go to a7fl.tv and get ready. And as always, we kindly ask you, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, with Mike Tomlin watching, I was trying not to be an asshole. Then look what you did. I'll try.